Live from our studios at Desawe Kanda here in Accra. We also stream live on Facebook at TV3 Ghana. My name is Safwa Abwahine. Now coming up this morning. Office of the Special Prosecutor OSP threatens to place former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta on an Interpol red notice if he fails to show up at the Office of the Special Prosecutor on June 2nd, 2025. Also coming up this morning, Health Committee of Parliament raises alarm over youth abuse of red as it vows to take measures with stakeholders to control the crisis. And also, President Mahama announces plans to launch Ghana Labour Export Program to create jobs through international partnerships. We have details of these and many more coming up shortly. Please stay with us. Many thanks for joining us this morning. Let's settle for the details now into a first story. The Office of the Special Prosecutor OSP has directed the former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta to present himself in person at its headquarters on Monday, June 2, 2025. This is in connection with an ongoing investigation into multiple financial dealings during his tenure. According to the OSP, should the former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta fail to honor the summons, he will be restrained or reinstated on the OSP's list of wanted persons and officially declared a fugitive from justice. Office of the Special Prosecutor OSP once again further warned it would begin processes to issue an Interpol red notice, potentially subjecting the former minister to international arrest and extradition. We'll keep a close eye on that and see what happens after June 2, 2025. But let's move to some health-related stories now, where the Health Committee of Parliament has expressed worry over the use of red by the youth. Vice Chairman of the committee, Dr. Sebastian Sandare, in an interview, says the committee has taken steps to help ensure the menace is brought under control.
Forever once never gave me to believe in second chance.
The use of red among the youth has reached an alarming rate. Some believe the use of the drug helps them work long hours or engage in hazardous tasks.
Yes, a drubi, a conumbi na jaya timidi akwa juma koye akobo hard. Am koso bishe ya ne. Say minimi se o de kan wanu an di jaya no inye easy.
Drug no amama ne me yire ntematiti over years ache kura ye ko ba yani se afi ade na me de me ho be hye mu no afi amama nya sika ahwe wo.
But Vice Chairman of the Health Committee, Dr. Sebastian Sandari, says more education on the dangers of the drug is urgently needed.
We have to intensify public awareness, the need for health education on the use of these drugs, because we see the side effects or the harm that is causing on our youth, because they start small, get addicted, and it's not difficult, to stop. So it's for all of us, the churches, the mosque, assemblies. I mean, everybody must be involved, parents must be involved, so that we educate our youth on the dangers of the use of red. One way is to reduce the availability of the drug.
He said the committee has already taken steps to address the issue.
The use of red by our youth in this country is public health crisis. So the health committee has taken it as a very important measure that we have to act on. One of our members made a statement on the floor with regards to that, calling on the need for our regulatory bodies, i.e. the Food and Drug Authority and other bodies, to really act to ensure that we reduce this burden in the society. That led to the Minister for Health, who came to the House to make a strong statement, on that.
The MP for Dafiamabuse Issa said that as part of the committee's agenda, they plan to visit the Food and Drugs Authority and other regulatory bodies to ensure compliance with the law. Opioids and red are classified as prescription-only medicines and should not be sold over the counter or in pharmacies without a doctor's prescription. However, some pharmacies flout the law, with individuals also engaging in the illegal sale of these drugs. The Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana is calling for more public education to ensure the youth understand the dangers of opioid abuse. The society has also commended the efforts of stakeholders in confiscating illegal drugs.
The abuse of opioids amongst the youth indeed has become a menace that needs all stakeholders to be on deck. But let's take you to the Ghana Statistical Service, where a key finding from the first wave of the governance series by the Ghana Statistical Service, GSS, has revealed that more than 70% of Ghanaians feel excluded from the political decision-making process, believing there is little or no opportunity for ordinary citizens to influence governance. Only 12% said the system provides sufficient space for citizen participation. The findings also reveal that corruption remains a major concern, with 55.7% of people reporting contact with public officials in 2024. Of those, nearly 1 in 6, that makes 18.4%, admitted to offering gifts or bribes, mostly money, to access services. Bribery was more common among men and urban residents. Greater Accra and Ashanti regions recorded the highest rates of bribery, while Savannah and Northeast saw the lowest. We will now take you to Takoradi, where 25 suspected kidnapped victims have been rescued from new site housing in the Efia-Kwesi-Mintin municipality of the Western region. The victims included 6 females, all in their late teens and early 20s. They have been handed over to the Takoradi Central Police Station for questioning. Assembly member for the Efia-Kuma Zongo, Hamza Mohammed Amin Adam, led the rescue, told Connect FM that none of the victims were identified as Ghanaians. Abdul Ganiyu disclosed that the escapee who led him to their place of hostage disclosed that they were brought into Ghana through a recruitment scam. This is a very disturbing story indeed, but we'll also be keeping an eye on that and definitely bring you more details as to how these escapees are doing. But let's also bring you one of our headline stories where the President John Dramani Mahama, has revealed plans to officially launch the Ghana Labour Export Program. The program is part of government's efforts to create job opportunities for the country's youth through international employment partnerships. Speaking in the Ahafo region on Saturday, May 31, 2025, during his thank you tour, President Mahama said government is currently in discussions with multiple countries facing labor shortages to enable Ghanaian professionals to work abroad on fixed-term contracts.
We'll soon launch a Ghana Labour Export Program. There are labor shortages in many countries across the world. We are negotiating with several of those countries to export some of our professionals to work on fixed-term contracts abroad. This will include agricultural workers, construction workers, electricians, welders, mechanics, health workers, chefs and caterers, drivers, machine operators, warehouse supervisors, among others. A contract has already been signed with one country for the export of 2,000 temporary workers. Young qualified people will be selected fairly from all the 16 regions of our country, including Ahafo.
Let's now take you to the Ghana National Council, where the Council of Private Schools says the inclusion of private schools in the free senior high school program will give students more options during the school selection process. And the government this week announced the integration of private senior high schools into the computerized school selection and placement system as part of its campaign promise. An executive director of the Ghana National Council of Private Schools, Nana Kwesi Jetua, spoke on hot issues.
That's what I said, that because of information, the manual that they are filling now, you wouldn't see the private school in it. But on the online, it is going to be integrated. Those schools that we are going to agree probably by tomorrow, going to be integrated. So students can still choose them. Okay. After you have chosen the school, the computerized selection placement or program will place you in wherever you have been qualified to be. You know the placement, we have self-placement also. So when the results come and your first choice or second choice, you didn't get it, you can still go to the portal and those schools with vacancies, including the private schools and even the public schools, you can select them. So now they are in the schools now.
Right. Let's now take you to the Tamale, where the main streets of Tamale have become increasingly hazardous due to the constant presence of stray animals, raising concerns among residents and commuters about safety and public order. My colleague Nadra Mohammed has more in the following report.
Goats, sheep and cows and other domestic animals are frequently seen roaming freely along major roads, especially in central areas of the northern regional capital, Tamale. These animals, often left unattended by their owners, have been identified as a major cause of road accidents and traffic congestion. They frequently disrupt the smooth flow of traffic and pose a threat to both motorists and pedestrians. Drivers have reported numerous near-miss situations, and some have unfortunately been involved in natural collisions while trying to avoid hitting these animals.
When it is on market days, the roads are very choked. As a yo-yo driver, sometimes you can be confronted with an animal. So trying to slow down for the animal to pass, another vehicle at your back can easily strike you. Yeah, so we are appealing to the stakeholders that they should look into it.
At a point, sometimes you will be coming on the road, then along the line, you will see animals crossing. Sometimes you will not even be aware of it. You will just see them crossing. By the time you realize, they will come in the middle of the road. So either you want it or not, you have to slow down, if possible, stop for them to cross.
The situation is particularly dangerous at night, when reduced visibility increases the risk of accidents. Beyond the immediate safety concerns, the presence of stray animals in the city center contributes to poor environmental hygiene and gives the city a disorganized appearance. Alabri Jabiru recently had an accident on his way home from work after a goat suddenly crossed his path, causing him to fall.
I don't understand why you went and buy animals and just leave them in the road. They are just causing trouble to people. Me myself, I'm a victim. You can look at my face. What about? That was last night. Before I see a goat run into a motor, I fell. This what happened. So they just took me to the hospital and dressed it.
Lillian Walter narrowly avoided an accident when a goat crossed her path. She says she was fortunate because she was not speeding at the time.
Animals roaming on our streets is something I think the assembly should really consider putting in place measures to ensure that these animals don't cause accidents on our road. Me, for instance, a few days ago I was riding on the road. Luckily on my part I wasn't speeding, and all of a sudden a goat runs into my motorbike. A colleague of mine had the same experience. He was on the way home and then the goat ran into his motorbike and then he fell, seriously injured.
In 2018, the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly passed a bylaw on the movement of animals in the metropolis. Section 181 of the bylaw allows the assembly to seize and impound cattle found roaming without supervision in public areas. But the assembly has not been able to strictly implement the bylaw to sanitize the metropolis. The public relations officer of the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly, Amadou Mustafa Zakaria, expressed concern about how political interference is affecting the enforcement of these bylaws.
There is a thin line between our work as city authority and community members ourselves. So you notice that when you want to enforce the law the way it is, they either describe you an arrogant person who has no respect for authority. And when they say authority, they often refer to the traditional authority or even our religious leaders. And the disregard they are referring to is you sort of not heeding to whatever request they are bringing to free an otherwise wrongdoing.
As accidents and inconveniences continue to mount, the people of Tamale are calling for swift intervention to restore order and ensure the safety of all road users.
This is a very perilous one that must be curtailed as soon as possible. But let's bring you some more stories where more than 150 island communities across the country are set to benefit from an off-grid rural solar-powered project. This is part of government's ambitious target to expand electricity coverage and light up rural Ghana through a program christened Scaling Up Renewable Energy. Belinda Tete joined the Minister for Energy and Green Transition at Lala Island in the Sene East District of the Bono East region for the official launch.
Ambitious initiative spearheaded by the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition with support from key development partners will see installation of 12,000 net-metered rooftop solar PV systems alongside the construction of new solar-powered mini-grids in underserved and remote communities. Speaking at the launch, the Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Abdullahi Jinabo, emphasized the transformative impact the program will have on citizens.
Open up new opportunities for innovation and entrepreneurship, as well as curb the migration of the people from the rural areas into the cities in search of non-existing opportunities.
The minister highlighted the broader vision of the ministry, which is to empower communities and bridge the rural-urban energy drive.
As a ministry, we are not just installing solar panels or building infrastructure. We are lighting up lives, empowering communities, and bridging the rural-urban energy drive.
Head of Cooperation for the Swiss Embassy, Magdalena West, also expressed pride in their collaboration with the ministry and the African Development Bank, noting the construction of 3 solar-powered mini-grids currently serving over 3,700 residents in island communities in Ada. She further underscored the importance of bilateral cooperation in advancing climate action and energy equity. The Member of Parliament for Sene East, Dominic Napari, welcomed the intervention, stating that the program will stimulate economic development and improve the livelihoods of the people of Lala and surrounding communities. The launch of the Scaling Up Renewable Energy program marks a pivotal moment in Ghana's journey toward energy inclusivity and environmental sustainability. By extending clean, reliable and affordable electricity to remote island communities, the initiative not only supports the country's climate goals, but also lays the foundation for rural transformation, improved healthcare and enhanced education and economic growth. For the residents of Lala and beyond, this project is more than just power, it is empowerment, opportunity and a brighter future. Belinda Tete, TV3 News, Bono East Region.
And on this note, we end this morning's bulletin right here on TV3. Many thanks for joining us this morning. New day continues right after the breather. Have a wonderful week. My name is Safwa Bohine.